Hey everyone, I wanted to start off the new year by redoing a video that we did a few years ago. This explains keywords, SEO, and how to add them to your Shopify store. There was a couple things that have changed since that last video, and I feel the new video really goes into more depth about how to add proper keywords to your page and your template files using meta fields inside of Shopify. I still go over the basic stuffs in the beginning, but we get a little bit more into theme coding near the end. So I'm going to hop into that now. So doing SEO inside of Shopify requires very little work actually, but if you want to take your site to the next level and really dial in your keywords and your descriptions, there's a couple places inside the Shopify dashboard that you can go and do this. Now, you don't need an app in order to do your SEO, you just need some good practices and a little bit of instructions on where to go to modify the auto-generated app stuff. Now, Shopify generally does a lot of your SEO for you, doing Google rich snippets as well as your keywords and your descriptions and your meta tags and that sort of thing. What I'm going to go over in this video is I'm going to go over how to optimize that and how to make that pop a little bit more. We're talking about after you've gotten your site up and running and you're trying to dial in that last 2 or 3% of your sales so that people are able to find you when they search for you on the web. So there's a couple of different places that you do this. The first place we're going to start off is under products. So once we go to products, I'm going to go pick a product that we have in our store here. Now this is a demo store that we have set up with some demo products. We've got our titles, we've got our descriptions, all of our vendor information is set up, our tags and so forth. But on the Shopify dashboard, if you want to go and edit any of your SEO information, you want to go down to the bottom. And down below, you're going to see Search Engine Listing Preview. And next to it, you're going to have Edit Website SEO. So if you edit that first, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to give you a demo of what is already being populated there. Now where Shopify gets this information from is it gets page title from what you've put in there under title. It gets the meta description from what the characters that you've put in the description, and then it has your URL and handle. Now, I'm just going to take a quick sidebar here to talk about URL and handle, because the URL and the handle is how Shopify keeps track of where your products are inside your online store. So if you were to go and change the handle, it's going to ask you to set up a 301 redirect. And the reason is this is the physical location of where your product is being stored on your website. So if you had posted it on social media, or if you had posted it in a blog post somewhere, or someone had added a link on side your website and you go and change this handle, they would normally end up going to a 404 page. But if you put in the redirect in there, it's going to redirect them to the new page. So what we always recommend is that you have create your URL to redirect set up here so that it will redirect to the new page. Now, when you're doing these handles, this is a great opportunity to use keywords. Now, a number of sites may use the construction of the handle in the actual physical building of the website in order to make it work. So before you go and change any URLs and handles, be sure to check with your web developer if you have one, or your Shopify expert to make sure that they haven't used the handle in a special way. If you're just working on your own and you're not worried about the structure of the handle and you want to optimize for SEO, by all means go ahead and change it. But like I said, sometimes these handles are used in very specific orders as well as very specific ways in order to pull information to other parts of the website. So the first thing you want to go and do is you can go in and change your page title. Now your page title, this is what will show up in blue in Google. So in our case, what we actually want to do is we want to add the type or the bag type. Because people normally search for Chanel bags, we want to add the Chanel name into the page title, but because of the way we built the site, we couldn't have it added into the title itself. So first thing is we want to put 10-inch Chanel double flap lambskin leather shoulder bag, and then if we click down below, it will auto-populate it with the information that came out of the descriptions, and we can go in and modify that. So we can go in and do that, and then we can hit save. And what that will do is if anything is written in these two fields, it will overwrite what was normally already put there. Right, so now that we've finished doing products, we can go and have a look at collections. Now collections, very similar to how products are put together. If you go into collections, you can come down to the bottom and you can hit edit SEO options down here, and same exact thing. So if you go and enter in a title, it's going to grab the title. If you go and grab the description, it'll grab the description and populate it in here as well. And the same goes for the URL and the handle. Now, I had a question that was posed to me a little while back about keywords, adding meta keywords. Meta keywords are not something that is used as much anymore. If you want to go and actually edit the keywords and you want to put keywords on a specific page, here's how I would recommend doing it. So there's a couple ways to go about it. So the first thing you have to do is you actually have to modify the meta fields inside Shopify. Now, it's important not to get confused between meta fields inside Shopify and meta fields being used inside Google for keywords and description and title tags. They are the same name, but they mean different things. Meta fields inside Shopify allow you to add additional metadata to a product page, and that's what we're going to use in order to populate the keyword portion of our site. So here's what we're going to do. So the first thing we need to do is we need to actually access the meta fields inside Shopify. So the easiest and the freest way to do it is with a Chrome extension called Shopify FD. Now, once you load Shopify FD, it will pull up the meta fields that are inside your store. Now, just a quick disclosure on Shopify FD. Shopify is in the process of changing their dashboard coding. They're switching over to a React framework, which means all of the structure of their HTML, which is what the Chrome plugin is dependent on, is all changing. So when they finish doing that upgrade, which could potentially take 6 months or so because they're doing it piece by piece, then the makers of Shopify FD are going to go in and they're going to fix their plugin in order for it to continue to work within Shopify. Shopify FD is something that I have been using for years. It works really, really well, but you know, these things happen. The web is ever changing. So what I've found is that you can load it, you may get an error. I usually refresh the page, load it again, and it tends to work. So you should get meta fields showing up on the right-hand side if you've loaded it up. The first thing you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to create a namespace for this specific product. So for the product that you're adding your keywords to, you're gonna have to add a meta field to it. To make it easier to manage your meta fields, there is an app called MetaFields 2, which I'll link in the description, which is only $7 a month. It makes things way, way easier. You don't have to go through all of these loading plugins and stuff like that on every single product. But anyways, let me just go through one of these here, and then I will show how MetaFields works in another video. So first thing you want to do is you want to select the namespace or the scope of your meta field. For all intents and purposes, we are just going to select global because we want this key to be available everywhere. Now, when we load this up, you're probably not going to have this keyword tag in here. Keyword tag is something that I've already created on another product, so it's auto-populating it for me. But what I would recommend is if you don't have it, all you can do is you can type in keyword, tag, and then away you go. And then on this specific page, you can go and add your values in here. Since I've already gone and done that on this specific product, if I hit the drop-down menu here, I can see that keyword tag is available. I can click on it and it will autofill it for me. And then you can put your keywords in the value position. Once you've gone and done that and saved your product, then we're ready to actually go and put those keywords onto the page. Now to do that, we got to do some liquid coding and we got to change some stuff around. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Online Store. I'm going to save my changes here. I'm going to go to Online Store, and then I'm going to go to my theme. And now this is my active theme. If you switch themes, you're going to have to redo this because we're doing theme coding. So what I would suggest is you go to Edit Code, and then when it pops up, you want to select your theme.liquid. The reason we're using theme.liquid is because we need to make sure that this populates it on every single page. We want to be able to pull in those meta fields so that in the future, if we want to go and add additional keywords for a specific product, we don't have to go and add this code additionally. We only have to do it once. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and around line 20, the only thing we want to make sure is that you're adding the code inside the head, but we want to add in the following 3 lines. We want to first say if product.metafields.global.keyword tag, so that meta field that we created, if that exists, then what we're going to do is we're going to pop in meta name keyword and then the content of the value of that keyword tag. And then we're going to close our if statement. So relatively simple on the coding side of things, but if we add this to the theme.liquid file, and then we go to the actual product, so I'm going to pull up the product itself. So let's go here. This is my product that I was working on. So if I go view, we'll bring up that product here, and if we go and inspect the code, and we'll bring up our Google Inspector here, I hit Control F for find, it's going to go and look for all of the meta pieces in there. And we can see that we have the one that we created in here called meta keyword and the content that I added in there. Now, just to show you that it only shows on this specific product, we're going to go back over to shop and we're going to pick another product that we have. So let's take this other Chanel bag here, and we're going to go and we're going to inspect the code on this page, and we're going to look for meta as well. And what we'll see is if we look through here, we have our description, but there's no keyword in here. Now, if we wanted to add keywords to that bag so that we can see that they are now optimized for SEO, we can take the handle and we can go into our products. I'm going to leave this page here, and I can search for that product, and I can go into it. And once I'm into it here, I'm going to load my Shopify FD, and this is where that error comes in that I was talking about. So I'm going to refresh it, and I'm going to load it again, and we should get our meta fields here. And what I can do is I can create a new namespace called keyword tag, and then I can put keywords in here. So we can put in keywords like leather shoulder bag, Chanel, double flap, quilted. We can save those. Once we've saved those, we then have a new global keyword that's been added in here. Now, the reason we don't see description keyword or the title keyword is because it hasn't been modified down here. As you can see, they're in gray. So if I went and clicked in these ones here and I added something new in here, so Chanel, let's go one channel, Chanel, and we added a K to that, and hit save. It'll probably truncate it, but it will give us our overridden characters here. Let's just make sure, great. And we load up our, hold on, this is where I have to do the refresh trick. Load this back up again. We'll see now we have 3 meta fields in here. And we can confirm that that meta field has been added to our page by going and refreshing, and then now we can see the keywords are now available on the page. So that's how you go and add keywords inside Shopify by modifying the template. Now, for some of the other things, this is also a same technique that you can use for pages, as well as collections, as well as for blog posts. Any kind of content you have on the site, you can go and do this. This will actually work across the board. Now, because I used the product scope, it's only going to work on product pieces. So what we would need to do is we would have to go and create different namespaces for collections as well as for pages. Cover that in another video. Anyways, that's everything that I wanted to go over today. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions beyond that. Thanks for checking out the video. If you guys have any changes that you need made to your website, or maybe something that wasn't as clear, please feel free to book a call with my company, and we'd be happy to go into more depth about how to set up stuff inside your Shopify store and teach you how to become an e-commerce expert. That's all for today. Have a nice one. See you tomorrow.